Rick is a fundamentally different gay guy. He's the gay guy that orders, grilled cheese and bologna sandwiches at a diner, and you go, So he's always been that sort of Chicago blue-collar kind of a guy.
You know how you look at homosexuals and there's always a stereotype on how they act? They didn't do this. And Rick was not that kind of guy. He was just saying he was gay, but in a real heterosexual way. Yeah, I'm gay. Yeah, that's right. I like some cock, no big deal.
He says to us one night after a show, he says, I want to talk to you all. I have something I want to tell you. So we all come into the guys' room, and we're all sitting there looking at him, and he says, I really trust you guys, and this is a hard thing for me to come out and say, but I'm gay. And we looked at him, we looked at each other, and we said, we know. Hello? It's like, duh.
Does everybody know that Rick is gay?
I don't know. I don't want to. He's talking about it.
Oh, Rick's gay?
Yes, he's gay.
Are you sure? Because I hate for something to come out.
I didn't know Rick was gay. I had no idea. And I was in the hallway with Pete Corelli one night, and he walks down. I don't know, he's joking around, because, we all love Rick, but he says something like, oh, my God, this is a gay song. And I go, what? It's not gay, Rick's. It's not gay. And Pete Corelli goes, what? He goes, look in there. And Rick's just on the piano singing a show tune. La 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 boo. And I was like, oh my God, he's gay. I didn't fucking see it. I didn't see it. I really didn't even know.
Right, please put your hands together. Welcome Mr. Greg Giraldo.
Thank you, everybody. Keep it going for Rick Crom. How about a hand for him there, wherever the hell he is? Probably gay. Anyways.
Who is it?
Hey!
Who are you?
Hi.
Does anybody know that?
Hello, young man.
Hello.
When did I first meet you?
Well, I started with...
I don't remember the circumstances. I just remember all of a sudden you were just sort of there. you were just sort of like, oh, him.
That's how most of my relationships began.
I know. It was at the cellar.
Put your hands together. Welcome our good friend, Mr. Jim David. Jim!
Rick Crom, everybody. Mr. Rick Crom, your MC. My personal shower buddy.
I would think two what I would call best friends in comedy, and Rick is definitely one of them. I mean, he's like my brother. And we call each other just to talk about stuff that has nothing to do with comedy. And we always have, ever since we met each other. We're very similar in that we're both sort of close to the same age. We are both gay in a profession that at the time was still pretty homophobic. We were both petrified to come out of the closet on stage because we thought that it would destroy our career.
Rick being gay was, obvious, but it was a different kind of thing. Rick was gay at a time when it wasn't hip to be gay. You know what I mean? Rick carries like that old school, you kind of hide it from certain places out of protection for your life.
When you go back and think about it, none of the comedians came out. Rosie O'Donnell spent years before she came out, like in front of you. So did Ellen.
I just noticed that there weren't any comics who were, even if they were gay and out, they weren't really talking about it on stage.
He's a poker. Ladies know what I'm talking about. Those nighttime attacks. Right? Fellas, you're guilty. You a poker, aren't you, man? You know what I'm talking about.
Jim David, I think, was the first one that I saw actually talking about being gay on stage.
My rap name is Notorious F.A.G.
If I think of something and if I can make it funny, then I'm going to talk about it. But being closeted, then yeah, there's some things you're going to stay away from because you're afraid that, if I say that, then that's going to lead to this. And next thing you know, I'm out.
Oh, then there was my coach, Mr. Mulvaney, said to me, Rick, take a lap. I joined him in his chair, and could have been a mistake. He's still writing to me, but...
One of the things that was at play back then is you could do openly gay stuff if you satisfied a stereotype. And the audience would believe you if you did that. I tried several times to do openly gay stuff, and they didn't believe me. First of all, because I wasn't satisfying their stereotypes. Plus, it was still not cool to talk about it. It made people very uncomfortable. It still makes people uncomfortable. But back then, it was career suicide. And if you didn't want to, because if the minute you did that, that's who you were. He's that gay comedian.
It's not an identity. And unfortunately, a lot of the other comedians, that's what they see you as. They see you as the gay guy.
I never talked about being gay in my act because I never wanted to be a gay, I wanted to be a comic and who happened to be gay. And I really had no material. I was going to talk about the AIDS crisis. I mean, that was really the big thing. It was a really hard time.
As far as we can figure, ladies, you want us to be what you want us to be, when you want us to be it. But you're not going to tell us when you want us to be what. Because if we loved you, we know.
It was implying that I was straight and that I was talking about me. But my own ego wouldn't let me actually say this girl I'm dating.
I don't remember him doing jokes about his girlfriend. You know, I don't think Rick was ever in the closet.
When I saw Rick, when I first saw him, he was just being funny. You know, it wasn't straight nor gay. It was just comedy. He was just doing stand-up.
There's cool Keith Robinson, and then some old white fuck comes up here. What's he gonna talk about? What's his rap name? Old dirty gray balls? What
I hate the term out of the closet because it implies that he was hiding it. And I don't know if that's the same thing as just not choosing to make it part of your act.
Being a comedian itself is such a unifier. I don't even see one guy as gay, another guy as Asian or black or Jewish. It's more like, what kind of comedian are you? Are you a funny comedian? Are you not funny comedian?
Chris Rock and I used to talk about this all the time. He said, man, you got to talk about this stuff. And I just said, I don't think I can pull it off. I don't think I can sustain it. I was terrified of doing it.
There were a lot of people very successful being comedians where you weren't unearthing your soul. To be more personal and stuff is kind of a newer development in comedy. There were plenty of people just doing observational stuff and doing this and doing that. I don't think that him not being totally bare and honest on stage kept him back. And I don't think him being honest about gay or not, in his time coming up, I don't think, if Rick was really honest and talking about being gay on stage in 1981, how's that gonna go over?
I walked into a New York comedy club and watched the comedians. I was absolutely horrified by the anti-gay jokes that I was hearing. And the audience was just howling. The audience was like, ha, ha, ha. And I thought, oh my God, do I really want to do this? Is this my chosen profession now where I have to subjugate myself to this? So for the first 10 years of my career, I did not come out.
When you're gay, you have to come out all the time.
We have to come out every set that we do. Most audiences, when we walk on stage, they assume we're straight, unless we just walk up like this and somehow let the audience know that we're gay.
Rick has been gay for so long that he's gone through, it's so great that now like he can be around doing all his gay things now. It must be so much fun for him.
I think you go through that kind of self-development where you've talked about everything in your silly way that you would do in your 20s and 30s, and you hit 40 and you go, yeah, fuck it, I don't care who I offend anymore. And you're ready to accept the truth about yourself.
No, it's weird, but I'm talking to this transgender boy, and we're kind of hitting it off. And I'm not really into girls, but he was dressed as a boy, and he said, well, I'm going to dress up. I said, okay, fine. I said, well, maybe we should get together later. And he goes like, and do what? I said, I don't know, have gay sex. And he said, I'm not gay, I'm a girl. Oh, okay, you can be the girl. I'm going to suck your dick anyway.
Times have changed. Let's just put it that way.